All right, here we are live from North Carolina with a roll reveal. This one is going to be this roll right here. It is a 1959D Fed Reserve Bank of Kansas City, Oklahoma City branch. So it was the Oklahoma City Fed substation of the Kansas City Fed Reserve. This roll, of course, has not been viewed or looked inside of, so we do not know exactly what is contained. We're going to do 3 reveals this evening, and then I've got 2 reveals for tomorrow, and then we'll do the singles pool tomorrow evening. I've got the schedule all up and ready to go. So just in case you're wondering what's upcoming, everything is in the channel, scheduled up and ready to go. So here we go. This is the Oklahoma City Fed Reserve roll. See if I can find my opener. I used it earlier for something, and in typical Chuck fashion, I did not put it back. So I'm going to have to do this one with my thumb. Pick this thing apart and get it open. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the show. There is Miss Wanda. Hello, Miss Wanda. Trying to get this roll open here. It's going to be a pain. No. Trying to find one of my little openers. I had it earlier, and I don't quite know what happened to it. I'll just have to work on this one. No, it wasn't a pointer. It was a it's a cell phone screen popper that works really well for getting these original bank wrap rolls open that are curled by machine and very difficult to open by hand. I just got it popped though. Just a second here and I'll have it all ready to go. There's Eric. Hello, Eric. Got Eric, got Sandigger, and Wanda. Alright, now the paper is going to go over the coins. A number of nice mint mark varieties and some double die obverses to be found. Double die reverses are going to be... Oh, there's it. It's right here. I knew I'd find it as soon as I didn't need it anymore. All right, that's the way my life works, right? All right, coin number 1. We're gonna go to Sissy first. Let me get this all popped out together and see what we've got. Nice toner right there on the end of the roll, and let me get focus on the subject. Put a little light on the subject. Let's bring it up just a little bit brighter, make it a little bit easier to see. Splits and serifs. We do have what appears to be a minor RPM right there on the end of the roll. It has extra thickness or a little bit of extra fatness there to the bottom serif. And it may or may not be a listable one, but we're going to pick them out anyway just to see. And I missed an inside joke. How can an inside joke be an inside joke on my channel and I don't know it? Let's see. I'm looking for a good marker to use near the date, and all I can see right now are these concentric die scratches that show up above the 1-9, and then a couple of nice ones right out in front of the chin, along with this patch of north and south die scratches. That should be enough to call that a marker. All right. So there's your toning. You see very easily that this was right on the end of a roll. There's the color of the toning, and there on the top of the head. So we have an RPM. We're going to check the reverse here for doubled dies. And I don't see anything on the reverse. And this first coin will go to Sissy. You guys have to forgive my slight snottiness. I have been outside working in the yard, and I'm slightly allergic to something out there. All right, coin number 2 is for Eric. Let's see what we come up with here on coin number 2. One of the things that we look for on this is that what we call an RPM that shows a mark on the inside of the last 9 of the date. This one appears to be an RPM as well. It's another minor RPM. It shows mostly on the lower serif. Here, let me push it up so that you can actually see it a little bit better. And bring it in. And focus. And get you some light. You can see that bottom serif is doubled right there. So we do have... Okay, that's correct. I got it, Wanda. Understood. Understood. All right. So that is an RPM as well. Let me get this out of the way here so I can still get light, but I don't cover it, the coin up. All right. 3 reveals tonight, 2 more reveals tomorrow, plus the singles show tomorrow evening. You guys are either going to learn to love me, or you're going to get used to me and begin to get tired of me by tomorrow night, because I have a lot of stuff to broadcast. Monday, I'm going to work on trying to take off away from here and head west, because this coming weekend is the Missouri Numismatic Show, and it will be the MNS show. It will be Missouri Numismatic Society show convention in St. Charles, Missouri, which is just across the Missouri River from St. Louis. Okay, next one here is This Is Mickey, and let's see what I show for Mickey here. It appears as though we've got nothing on the mint mark. Nope, and the date is of normal thickness, so let me move on to the eye area. I see nothing on the eye, said I. There we go. So anyone who plans on being at the show in the St. Louis area, in St. Charles, this coming weekend, be sure you look for me. I'll be there. Where are you? Okay, there you are. Checking the reverses now. Oh, about the first 10 coins. See what we see. Then we'll be able to move on. This is machine doubling here. One of the things that will give you a really good clue that you're looking at machine doubling is you don't have any separation at the corners. There's no notching at the corners of the letters. The other thing is that the thickness of your doubling, or the apparent doubling, gets thicker or thinner as you go up and down the edge. On a true double die, that probably wouldn't happen. The other thing is that you look at the normal thickness, the normal width of the letter. A double die is going to add to the normal width of a letter. This does not add to the normal width of the letter. All it does is take away a little part of it. You can see it very easily there on the corner, on the bottom corner there of the M in America, and over here on the R of America. That's where I first noticed it. So definitely machine doubling here. This is non-collectible doubling. It happens very frequently. Very frequently. So here's another place where you would generally see a serif, a double serif, if you had a double die, but it just shows just a little tiny bit right there, and it shows a little bit on the inside of this curve. That is machine doubling. You can see it going on around. You follow it around. Here's another good spot where it shows machine doubling, the normal thickness of your D here is partially chewed away by this doubling. So it is unfortunately a normal coin, but it does make a really good case for study of machine doubling. So you know what machine doubling looks like for sure. Here is coin number 4. Coin number 4 goes to Mark. And Mark gets... Now it's a very clean looking coin, but it is normal in the date mint mark area. Little tiny struck through there next to the chin. A little tiny one. Teensy tiny little struck through. And go on around and check for doubling on other areas of the obverse, and I don't see any at all. So let's flip it over to the reverse. And the reverse. Get started looking around here. See if we... Generally on the reverse, on memorial cents like this, especially like with this date or this era, one of the biggest things we're actually looking for is splits in the serifs on the outside edges of the letters. And if I were able to find one and show it to you right now, I would. But they are not highly common. They're not real easy to find. A pretty nice looking coin, but we have no doubling on this one. No doubling at all. Yeah, unfortunately they are paying ridiculous money for machine doubling, and there is a lot of it out there, especially in certain dates like 57, 58. I don't think they knew how to tighten a die back then. It seems like a large number of the coins I've seen are struck that way, and people see doubling, they think value. And so they see doubling, they think value, and immediately they jump to the idea that this must have some value. Because why would they bother selling it on eBay if it was valueless? If it had no value, why would they bother listing it? Well, they list it because people like them are going to want to buy it and will offer moon money for something that is basically worthless. I know what I forgot. Here's what I got to get between shows. Something to drink. I have wasted my water outside. Schwitzing it off. Sweating while I'm doing my yard chores, mowing the yard. God, I cannot imagine what kind of jungle this place is going to be when I come back. Jungle. I like to swing from the trees to mow the yard when I get back. Here's one for Cali Pigeon. And Cali Pigeon gets... it looks like an RPM. It is a rather minor RPM that shows on the lower serif. This is going to match the first die that we pulled out of this roll, which was coin number 1. It's got those same die scratches above the 19 of the date and the 2 straight die scratches that are right out in front of the chin. So same die, same minor RPM. There's another marker for us. Die scratch from the top of the head to the T of trust. And pull this out and see what we have, if anything, on the reverse. Of course, we're not really looking for doubling at this point, simply because we've already seen the reverse that goes with this obverse, and it had no doubling. This will not either. I'm just looking to see if there happened to be anything really cool there, like struck throughs, laminations, other things like that that could be a very coin-to-coin thing. Won't necessarily repeat from one coin to the next. They're more of slight planchet flaws than actual striking errors. All right, there is normal. It's apparently normal in the date and mint mark area. Let's pull on through and see what we see. Nothing on the eye. little bit of a late die state. You can see all that feathering coming off the tops of the letters headed toward the rim. That signifies there's a lot of die wear going on here, which means that this is a later die state obverse. Your obverse and your reverse don't necessarily age together because they can be changed intermittently. They can be changed. You can strike a million coins with an obverse and go through 4 reverses in that period of time. Same thing with the other way around. I'm just using that as an example. But it is very possible to go through a number of one side on one particular die of another side. Mickey. Back to Mickey again. Let's see what Mickey gets. Mickey? It looks like it's going to turn out to be a normal one. Going to turn out to be normal. I'll get this in focus a little better. There we go. Now we got it in focus. And I'm not seeing anything on there. Let's check the eye area. No doubling in the eye. Nothing up my sleeve. And normal coin's got a die crack on the back of the head. Pretty big one too. Actually, that goes probably... Oh, it goes almost out to the rim, but it comes up and almost touches the E. Up at the top. That's actually kind of cool. Given that I don't think we've seen this reverse yet, we shall take a look at it just to see what we see. And I don't know why my focus keeps changing. That is not my inability to see. It is something going on with the level of the little pad that I'm using, or the thickness of the coins, or something. I will accept anything at fault except myself. Well, got nothing going on there. Let's go ahead and flip this one and move on to the next coin. We got 2 different repunchment marks we're looking for so far. We have one example of one and 2 examples of the other. We're going to keep checking here and keep watching for more, because we are only, we're 9 coins in. We're not even a full dozen coins into the roll yet. So we've got plenty of, I'm not going to say time. Let's see, what do we have plenty of? We have plenty of opportunity. That's the word I would want to use. That's a good political word. Opportunity. I gave you opportunity. That makes it sound so good. That's a really, really good way of saying I gave you nothing at all, but I didn't take anything away from you. Hello, Kelly Ray. Good evening, my dear. Hope everything's working well for you today, and that you didn't have to work too hard to get to the point where you are today. I do believe... Is this the same die that I had for Eric? Or was it Eric? It was Eric. I don't know if this is the same die or not. I don't remember what that marker was. I don't think it's the same. It does look like a minor doubled lower serif. Looks minor though. It may be too minor to list. It may be too minor to notice, but you know what? It doesn't cost us anything to pull it out and put it into the special pile to make Eric look at it and see what he thinks. So, guess what we're going to do? That's right. I'm going to pass the buck to Eric on this one. See what he says. Got no doubling on the reverse. But this one's for Calipigian. If Calipigian does end up with a listable RPM here, that would be 2 for Calipigian so far in this roll. There's one for Frostbite next. Let's see what we do for Frostbite here. Do we have something? We do. We have a little RPM there. I think this might be the same one as Eric's.
I don't remember what the
marker... Oh, no. This is the same one. This is the first die. This is the one that we already have one for Calipigian and for who else? No, it was Sissy and... Yeah, Calipigian and Sissy. So this is our first die. It's got those 2 die scratches out in front of the chin, along with the concentric die scratches that are showing around the 1/9. These are actually part of the concentric die scratches too, meaning that these die scratches are exactly perpendicular to the radiant to the middle of the coin. That probably wasn't a lot more explanatory than just die scratches would be. But sometimes I can't help but get ahead of myself in explaining things like that. So you have what appears to be, what is this? Is that a little die scratch or a die crack? Then we've got a die scratch headed off to the T there. So we've seen it. We know this one. But there's one for Frosty. Let's move on to coin number 12 now. Coin number 12 is for Jordan. If I move out just a little bit more. This looks like another one. It is. Same die. Same die. A number of little markers all over the place on this one. Same stuff.
different coin.
All right. That's for Jordan. I think Kelly Ray's wasn't all that heavy. It was just large because she got that slipcover for the Dansko album. And those are kind of... Unless she got her rolls. This is probably the rolls from the Whatnot the other night. So there's going to be, I think, 11 rolls in her package. That's not real heavy. There's another one right there. 2 big die scratches out in front of the chin. So that's why. And see, there's your die scratch in front of the T of trust. This is why I go through and I start very carefully looking for markers as soon as I get into a roll. That way, as I get through... Who the heck is Deanna? This is for Deanne. I don't know why. It says Deanna on it. But Mr. Scott got one. Here's Eric. Now Eric. What does Eric get? Yeah, it's not one of the ones that we just got finished looking at. I'm not really seeing much of anything on this one. Not here and at the present. I think we just ended up with a late die state 1959D here. This was in the middle of the roll too. Don't know why. It's spotty. It's a bit of spots. I don't like spots. Alright. Oh, Kelly Ray, you don't even understand. You don't know. It's pretty much a hectic boom to get everything out of here as quickly as I can so I don't forget stuff, because if I forget stuff, it could sit for a month, and then once it sits for a month, I start to lose things. And if I lose things, then I end up having to refund people, and it becomes a tragedy. I would rather just get rid of it. It's sold. It belongs away from here. It is going away from here. I tried doing the once a month shipping thing back about 2 or 3 years ago, and tried to collect everything for everyone who subscribed to that during the month, and then tried to mail everything once at the end of the month, and it got to be such a headache. I had an entire closet full of other people's stuff. No more. Not doing that. I get rid of it as quickly as I possibly can. There we go. There's another one. I love all you brothers and sisters, but I'm not going to remember everything every one of you order. If it was one person, it might be different, but we've got, easily 30 regular customers, possibly up to 35 regular customers, and then we have the not so regular customers that we have up to another 30 of those, so it's about 60 customers altogether. And I just can't keep track of that much stuff. This one looks like it could be one of those really minor flavor of RPMs. In fact, I think it is one of them because I've got the die scratch from the corner of the D to the bottom of the 5. I saw that on another one of the coins that I was speculating, kind of looking at. There was a marker that I thought I was going to be able to follow on these. We've got horizontal die scratches running through the W, E of we. I don't really see anything else here. I do have that one really light die scratch that runs. Oh, there's a pretty large die scratch north of the 9. Way out here. Center it up.
Right there.
I'll pull this one out and put it off to the side.
It does look like it may have a doubled lower serif, and it looks like it may match one of the dies I've already been picking out, so
we'll just have to do a good study later. Now, I know I've pulled at least one of these out before, and this one's a pretty nice little RPM. It does not match the ones that we've been pulling. I believe it matches one of the other coins, and in fact we're starting to get a stack here that I can't keep track of, so, well, I could, but I can't, because,
well, if I did that, I'd have to go back and look at this again and make sure of this again and look at that again, and it just takes more time than we have. Kelly Ray, if you want to contact me regarding that, just send me a text after we get finished, like tomorrow sometime, and I can share with you the information that I know of how to get a hold of people there so that we can try to get it corrected if it's wrong. This is another one of our first die. There's our die scratch there. So we've got that pretty well under wraps. Sissy gets a second one. That's Sissy's second one. Coin number 19, now number 20
for Jordan. And what do we have for Jordan? Well, we have another one that is an RPM. It is a very clean, very nice example of our first RPM of the roll. So Jordan gets one of those too.
Now number 21, back to Deanne. I spelled it right this time.
Oh, that's a pretty RPM right there. That's a nice one. I don't know what number it is, not right offhand, but it's, shall I say, cute. That's a tripled lower serif. That's going to be a nice one. It will be listed. There's a big dot out in the middle of the field between the forehead and the S in trust. A weak spot busted into a little small die chip that shows very well in the middle of the field.
All right, and that one is definitely a different RPM than the ones we've seen. That goes to Deanne. Now Frostbite.
Frostbite, Frosty. Let's see what Frosty gets. Well, looks like we have yet another one of our first RPM of the roll.
So we're starting to get used to what these are. I'm starting to get through them a little more quickly. And that's because I spent all that time in the beginning of the roll studying every coin closely so I could figure out, which ones is this and which ones are that. And so now we have kind of a little bit of education about this roll. This is another one right there. And what I'm looking at is that little space right there in the lower serif. This little spot right here and that little spot right there. There is actually a notch right there, right in the serif. That tells me I have a doubled serif down there. And this little marker right here on the chin, these 2 die scratches right out here on the chin, are what I'm following through on for every one of the coins that I'm putting in that stack. Now there's probably close to 10 of them. Coin number 24 now, Calipigian, now 10 of them. We're talking about almost half the coins that we've pulled out so far are die varieties of one type or another, because we're just now getting to a point where we're 25 coins or halfway through the roll. This one is another RPM. It's another different RPM. This one has a line running right through the middle of the mint mark right here. Master Eric, you are going to be busy, man. Busy, man. We got a couple of die scratches right up here to the northeast of, or northwest, I'm sorry, of the 1 of the date. All right, then. We are obviously going to run over on time a little bit as far as the scheduled time for these reveals. I only scheduled times for the reveals because it forces me to. We are doing 3 reveals before we finish the evening, regardless of what time they happen. I'm going to need about a 10-minute break between shows. There we go, another one. It's another one of our first RPMs of the roll. That's coin number 25. Now we are right exactly halfway through the roll. Coin number 26 now goes to Mark. Let's see what Mr. Thomas gets. And he gets one. Nope. This is the different one. This is a different one. It's not the same die. Looks like we have a normal coin here. Let's check the reverse on this one. Haven't seen the reverse on this die yet, I don't think. Don't sell 1959D short. There are a couple of decent double die reverses. Not much out there, but it's worth plugging on through and looking at one every once in a while just to be sure you're not missing what little there are out there. You just got 2 notifications. You probably got 2 notifications because I scheduled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 streams. So I scheduled 6 different streams in the last hour. You're probably getting notifications on more than one of them. You probably just got, that was a notification on my second reveal. All right, that's going to be another one of the little RPMs right there. What was that? 1943D 1DO20. Wow, 22 copies. It's almost half the roll, folks. That is a beautiful thought right there. Mr. Fletcher. Let's see what Mr. Fletcher picks up here. And Mr. Fletcher, I don't know about this one. Could be an RPM, may not be. It is a little minor RPM, but I don't know how listable something like this will be. I'll stick it in the pile anyway, right? Why not? We have way more coins in the pile than we do out of the pile. So this is an RPM-ful roll. That is a new word. I'm going to patent it tomorrow. RPM-ful. It's just like double die-ful. That's going to be another one of our first RPMs for this roll. Drip is a new one. I don't know how many different new venues I want to go to, but you know, when a venue becomes the main venue, I want to have been established there. I want to be sure that I'm early in line for whatever happens, which makes me wonder which one of these is actually going to work. It's kind of like back when the video cassette first came out, and you had the dilemma as to whether you wanted to try to do beta or whether you wanted to try to do the VHS. And it's like, well, do I go with VHS or do I go with Betamax? Betamax, they're smaller, they're more compact. That probably means they're better. Who knows? And then, of course, Beta went out of style in 4 or 5 years, and well, the VHS took over the planet. We thought that would be the forever thing. Of course, some of you might also remember laser discs. There were a few different things that we went through back in those days. Laser discs were really nice and clear, but they were huge. They were the same size as an LP. Let's see here. Well, what do we have next? It's for Mr. Worley. And it's going to be a normal coin. Unfortunately, a big old crack running across the head. Okay. So that's number 32. How about number 33? What are we going to see on number 33 here? Carl. And Carl will pick up. Zoom, doom, doom, doom. It's another one of our... it's not the same. I think this is the same one that Eric first originally got. Okay. Our marker on this one is going to be that little bit of dye damage right out here. It's got a heavy dye dot, but it's got a split lower serif. So we can use that heavy little dye dot as our chief marker in and around the date area, because it's what always makes those easier to pick is when you're looking at the date mint mark area and you can find a marker right away. Saves you a lot of time. Okay, this one's going to be a normal coin here. Normal, normal, normal. Marsha, Marsha, Marsha. A little bit of an announcement to make with regard to the coin cards that I brought up yesterday. I found out today through doing a little bit more research, because it's still in the planning stage, really. I mean, I've done some design work and stuff, but overall, the entire program is still kind of in planning. And I have ascertained at this point that it's going to take longer to get this program off the ground than I thought. I'm now shooting for release in September. I will be starting the Kickstarter not this weekend because I can't. Kickstarter doesn't even operate that quickly. I'll be starting the Kickstarter when I come back from my trip around the 5th of August. And you'll have the remainder of August to get your orders in and make yourselves financially helpful to the cause. Meanwhile, I will be working on contacting all of the greats and legends of the air variety market to have them hand sign cards that I will mail to them, have them sign them, they will mail them back, then they will be cut and placed into the packs at random. And you will actually get signature cards, real signature cards of people such as, well, I'm not going to name anyone, because if I name anyone, then that kind of ties them down to being a part of it, and they could change their mind. So it would be such as myself. I don't know if that I'm a legend, but there's a lot of people who I have in mind to go after. Here's one for Parvas. Matthew, you're in a number of the ones from this week, but I'm not sure if it's actually this one. Okay, there's another nice RPM right there. Another nice repunchment mark. You have a lower split serif and an upper split serif there. Trust me, once we get into this coin card idea, it is going to kind of pop, and you're going to understand really well what you're looking at and what you're thinking through. It's going to be a beautiful educational series of cards. Start off with the Lincoln Cent die varieties. Well, there you go, Matthew. You are in this roll. That's your coin right there. Let's see what we get for Matthew here. And, you know, unfortunately, this one's going to turn out to be a normal coin. This one's going to be normal. I'm hoping that I can come up with 20 different Legends of Coins cards. 20 different coins that will be autographed, every one of them. Number of examples of each, probably between 20 and 50 examples of each. I'm going after some of the largest living legends of our time for signatures. It's another one of our RPMs here. Oh, we will have an Eric signature. If Eric will have me, I will send cards to him to sign as well. And then I will be asking Brian Allen as well, Dr. Allen, if he will sign cards, as well as Ken Potter. I'll be asking him. There's a number of people I'm going to try to get involved. One person I've not contacted yet, but I have him in mind, and he may actually do it, would be Ken Brissett, the editor emeritus of the Red Book. Kind of thinking of just a number of other people who have been or are involved in the combined organization of Numismatic Air Collectors of America, CONECA, or they might call it CONECA, depending on who they are. Here's another one of our RPMs, the first one in the roll. Nice clean example too. It's very nice. We're also going to do Sherman signature cards. I was told I needed to do Sherman signature cards, so we are going to do Sherman signature cards. Get out the stamp pad, and Sherman will autograph cards for us. There's another one. Another one of our first RPMs of the roll. You guys think I would actually do a series of cards of legends and not put my dog in there? You don't get any hairs. No hairs, just a paw print. Hairs are an extra $49.95. $49.95 plus delivery. They're awfully heavy. Offer not valid in Alaska, Hawaii, Guam, Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands. Nobody's cloning my dog. My dog is non-clonable. Non-clonable dog. Pole? Pole now. Nothing. Bummer. Bum's a bummer. Do the cards cause cancer in California? Everything causes cancer in California. Californians are just used to it, though. Eggs, bacon, breathing the air. Everything but marijuana causes cancer. Marijuana is the only thing in California that does not cause cancer. There's also going to be redemption cards in the coin cards. A redemption card, say you get a card in your pack that says 1960D RPM number 2 redemption. You'll be able to send that, mail that card in, and trade that card. Actually, I will send the card back to you with the coin. Your card will be canceled. There'll be a notch cut out of it. But you will get an actual example of the RPM that is featured on your redemption card. So if you get a redemption card of, say, a 1949S RPM number 1, and you send it in for redemption, I will cancel your card, mail it back to you with an actual 1949D RPM number 1. There's one from Miss Fletcher. Little Miss Josie, what do we get? Well, she has one of our first RPMs here. I think this might be her second one. Or it's possible that her grandpa got one. I can't remember now. It's either Josie or her grandpa got one. Melissa, Kelly, Frostbite, Jordan, Deanna, Jay Worley, Sissy, Jordan, Frostbite, Malcolm. Actually, neither one. Taco John has 2. Jordan has 2. Sissy has 2. Josie just has this one. And Grandpa doesn't have one at all yet. And we are almost finished with this roll. So she's going to have trade bait against her grandpa here. This is coin number 49. It goes to Jordan. Let's see what Jordan gets here. Well, that's going to be a third one. All 3 of Jordan's coins are the same RPM. Of course, it's not a bad thing. Still have some first generation coin cards. I am looking into the idea of maybe auctioning a set of those. Maybe more than one. I don't know right now. This one, last coin of the roll from Matthew, turns out to be a normal coin, it appears. Yep, a normal coin. Well, that's what we've got for this roll. I tell you what, give me about a 10-minute break and I'll be back to do the next roll. We've got 3 tonight. Next roll is going to be a 1944D. So do not miss that one. No matter what you do, don't miss that one. Here's a list of the names. You'll see your name flash by if you get one of the first RPM in the roll. That's the only ones I'm going to flip through right now. So there's Sissy, Calipigian, Frostbite, Jordan, Deanna, whatever. This is Deanne. Mr. Worley, Sissy, Jordan, Frostbite, Malcolm, Richard, Taco John, Josie, and Jordan. Jordan gets 3 of those. 1, 2, and 3. So he's got 3 of them. And there are other die varieties in here to the tune of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 coins. And this is all we have for normal coins. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. It's 22 normal coins, which means there are 58 die varieties, 22 normal coins. We have a winner roll, a big winner roll. Thank you for participating. Thank you for being here. And I am going to take a break and come back with our next roll.
stay tuned. Go back out to the channel, find the other show, click into it, and I'll be there in just a few minutes. See you there.